What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. MTG here with another episode. If you're new to the channel, hi there. So I got Android 16 aka One UI 8 on the Samsung Galaxy S25, and it just feels like yesterday when we were talking about the release of One UI 7, and Samsung really had a rough path with One UI 7. First of all, it took forever, and then they released it. They had to pull it back because of some bugs and this and that. Just, it was not great. So I feel like Samsung is trying to fix things with releasing One UI 8, the beta version of it early, and so far it's been pretty stable. But it's only available on the Galaxy S25 series as of right now at the time of this recording, and in a handful of countries. So in the US, you can get this if you have S25, 25 Plus, or the Galaxy S25 Ultra. I do suspect that, it'll trickle down to the S24 series, Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Flip 6, as well as other devices. Not only that, when the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 and the Flip 7 do release later this summer, probably in July, sometime around that time frame, they will release with a stable version of Android 16, One UI 8.0, or maybe 8.1, I don't know. But they're going to be releasing with One UI 8.0. Now, as you can see, we got it right here, and we're not going to be getting huge design changes throughout the entire operating system, but some subtle changes. We got that huge overhaul with One UI 7. One UI 8 is just, some subtle changes and some pretty decent improvements. Now, I'm not going to go through everything, but just like the main ones that you may notice. And the first one is going to be with the Quick Share. And this actually, for me, it feels like an app, but it feels like it's going to be easier and quicker to use. So it has a new experience with a dedicated send and receive tab right here at the very bottom, something I personally appreciate that Samsung went ahead and did. So users can now select files to be sent over Quick Share with this new interface, an alternative to the regular sharing menu. And this change is expected to come to all Android devices via an update to Google's version of Quick Share. I think this is just going to make Quick Share more accessible, easily accessible, I'll put it that way. And I feel like a lot more people are going to be using Quick Share. It's like you can compare it to AirDrop, and it actually works very well. But I like this new interface. I feel like it's just gonna. I feel like more people are going to be using Quick Share because of this new interface. That's just my opinion. But the next is going to be the Files app. So let's go to the Files right here. And with the Files app, it's going to make it easier to find your downloads. And this is just a minor update with the Files app, but you now have categories right here appearing at the top of the app, and a dedicated Files add recently, which I have not added any files recently here, but it's going to be easier to find your recently added files that you've created on the device or download it. And that was a huge hassle for me whenever I download a file, for example, or try to find something older. I remember the date of when I created the file or I downloaded a file, and I just can't seem to find it, but it's going to be easier to find it here with that update. And I also do the categories. It's just, pushing it up to the top. Sometimes I know I'm going to go into documents. It's right there. With just one click, I'm in documents. Okay, so the next update is going to be to the weather app, and I think this is the best update, my favorite update by far. And I use the weather app on all of my devices very frequently as of recent, because one, the weather is getting warmer, which means I'm going to be walking outside more often, getting in those steps, and also just spending more time outside. So I get to kind of use the weather app to see, what the weather is and how I should dress accordingly. Right now it's pretty late. It's 10:39, it's going to be 10, almost 11, and it's raining here in Rochester. And it's, yesterday it was nice and sunny, warm in the 70s. Today is raining. Tomorrow will probably be something different. So, every day is different here in Rochester, but I've gotten used to it. I've gotten used to it. But here with the updated weather app, you're getting a more realistic view. So you're getting more realistic people and visuals to show the weather conditions, and the app also features more translucent UI elements throughout its various cards. We scroll down here and we just get a lot of information. I don't know who's going to be running at this time because the weather is poor. if you want to cycle tomorrow morning, it says it's fair weather. So I guess it's just going to be like some, you know, kind of like, since it rained, it's going to be raining all night, just some rain maybe in the morning. I don't know, but whoever wants to cycle in the morning, go right ahead. Gardening, again, if you want to do that, you can do that too. And then you can add more activities to forecast, to show. And then you see like the AQI, the air quality index, and then like the UV index and all that stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of information here. You even get like, you get the moonrise, you get the moon set, and then you get which shape of the moon it was, or which phase of the moon it was. And you also get like sunrise, sunset, and all that stuff here. But yeah, I really do like just the visuals here. It looks really clean. And again, it's an app that I'm using very often. I think I talked a little bit too much about this app, so let's move on to the next one, which is an app I actually don't use when I'm rocking Samsung devices, and that is going to be Samsung Internet. So let's pull up Samsung Internet right here, and it's not my default internet browser on my Samsung devices, but it's received update design. It primarily affects the overflow shortcuts menu. It makes sharing easier and also allows for shortcuts to be customized. And obviously, like this was in previous things, but you also get Galaxy AI, so you can use summarize, translate, and read highlights aloud, which I guess it sounds useful. I'm not a huge Galaxy AI or just AI fan. Like it just isn't too enticing. But you know, last week's Google I/O kind of, you know, caught me by surprise with all the updates that Google is offering with Gemini. So I'm going to be checking that out, especially with like Google's like VO3 with like the whole AI video thing. That is looking really, really clean and very realistic. So there's a lot of, you know, things going into Gemini right now that I do want to test out. And I feel like Gemini is making huge leaps. So Samsung's probably going to follow. Apple Intelligence, we don't even talk about that here on the channel anymore, because it's just like, it's not worth talking about. They made so many promises they couldn't keep, and it's just falling behind very quickly. But again, like Samsung Internet is, you know, it's not the internet browser that I usually use. But an app that I recently started using is the Reminder app. And the Reminder app is actually pretty good for me, at least, because when I'm running a business and I'm, you know, constantly making content and I have to plan things, I have to schedule, you know, brand deals and things like that, and then I have other, you know, side projects going on. Like I always have to remind myself and make reminders and, you know, make sure I complete those reminders and those tasks. And this is a good app for also those who forget things. You know, we're human, we can forget from time to time, and it's best to write things down or to use this app to remind us. Like if you are going to, like, you know, pick up groceries, you know, after work on your way home, and, you know, you have it all in your head, but then you forget on the way home. Well, maybe you could have just wrote it down in the Reminders app and go to the Reminders app, or the phone can remind you, be like, hey, you're getting out of work, you got to pick up groceries. So it's good to see it here. And again, we're getting, you know, the categories right up here and suggested reminders. So that's something I do appreciate. Like it has a grocery list right here. You can obviously change things up. A pickup reminder for when you get home, monthly payment reminder, workout schedule, things like that. But it's definitely an app that I would recommend. Now, I didn't go through all of the UI 8, like One UI 8 features and changes, just some of the main ones that I have noticed. But it feels like One UI 7.1. It's very stable. Haven't noticed really any issues or bugs. I see this trickling down to other, you know, older devices fairly quick, and I feel like this beta isn't going to last too long. I mean, if you think about it, with the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Flip 7 coming out with Android 16, One UI 8, the stable version, this probably will get a stable release fairly soon. Google is just kind of throwing their Android 16 release fairly earlier than previous years, so it only does make sense. But again, like I said, it's only available in certain countries as of right now for the S25 series. As of right now, again, things may change in the future, but I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, definitely be sure to super smash that like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video, because it really does help out the channel out a lot. It will help push my content out to more people. Definitely be sure to check the links in the description down below. You know, my affiliate links, my wallpaper pack, this right here, it's called Color Blast. I'll be leaving a link in the description down below. It goes a long way in helping out the channel, as well as my other wallpaper packs, my Notion templates. Again, links in the description down below. That's been it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.